What's up, guys? Josh Farro here, hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
It blows my mind that you're on tour with Bryce right now, Rocket Summer, and it throws me back to, or it takes me back to Knitting Factory 2006.
It's a long time.
The Rocket Summer,
Yeah.
you guys, what was it? Nightmare of You.
That's right. Yeah, man, that was too long ago to remember. Honestly, it's crazy.
You're back with Bryce. So what kind of relationship is there with Bryce?
Oh man, I mean, honestly, we haven't really kept in touch, but like the first day of the tour, it was like, I don't know, it was like picking up right where we left off.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. He's such a good dude, and we're just stoked to be out opening for him.
What's it like for you practically starting all over again, but this time being the center of attention?
It's fun. It's just a blast every night, man. I mean, it's so cool. Like starting over. It's definitely starting over. I mean, it's starting from scratch. But there's something like really cool about that, and it's really intimate. And we're playing these small clubs and meeting new people, and also seeing people that used to come out to Paramore shows. And
Right.
I don't know. It's been awesome. It's been a long one, but man, every night I'm amazed at like everybody that comes out and everybody that I meet, and it's fun.
Well, the thing that got me excited walking up to the venue was that there's a van out there. It's not a tour bus. It's not an airplane. It's a van.
Yeah.
So going back to that, is it something that you had to really get used to, or is it like, oh, you just came back home?
The only thing I needed to get used to is letting someone else drive. It's a little scary, but no, it's like I think on the drive out of Nashville, our first show was in Houston. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so trippy. It was like taking me back, but it only took a couple days, and then I was like back in the saddle again.
Right. Now, you've always been co-writing with the band, but have you always felt comfortable or confident to actually release your own music, just you as a solo product?
At first I was not. It took a lot to really get me to this point. A lot of self, what do you call it? Just like,
Motivation?
yeah, motivational speaking to myself.
Right.
And just like, come on, you can do it, you can do it. And I have amazing friends and family around me that have encouraged me. So at first, yeah, I was pretty like nervous about it, because just watching, from my previous band, watching Haley do it all, it's like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of like self-discipline, like saving your voice, like warming up, all of this stuff. I was like, man, I don't even know if I could do that. But I finally just bit the bullet, and I'm glad I did, because it's way better than I expected.
Right. What has been maybe the most difficult thing, especially today? You guys started out in 2004, touring on a van, trying to get as many tours as possible, playing coffee shops. How different is it today, starting fresh?
It's weird because it's different. It is different and it isn't. I feel like it's such a different industry now, but at the same time, you can't fabricate a live show.
Right.
And it's like we're in the world of streaming now, Spotify, Apple Music. So people aren't really buying music as much as they were, but that's one thing you can't stream or buy online is a live show. So that from that aspect, it's the same, and that's really cool to know that that's still like people still go to shows. They
Right.
still enjoy that, and I think that's the coolest thing for me out here.
Now, working on this new material, I was mentioning earlier that I love that it's a different sound. Your fans are used to seeing high energy coming out of you, whether on stage or in the albums. But this is a completely different sound. Is this something that you've always really been into, even before Paramore?
I've always been into like bands like Coldplay or Radiohead, who are I think a little more on the melodic, chill side. But they still there's an element of energy to it that it's just a different style. It's not so much guitar heavy,
Right.
But yeah, I've always been into this. I love all kinds of music. I love hard rock. I love classic rock. I love so I like some country. I don't love country. Pop.
You're from Tennessee, but you don't love the country scene.
I don't love it, but I can appreciate it, and I do like it.
Right.
But yeah, so I feel like it's been cool because this music is me. Paramore was Paramore. It was there was like 5 of us,
Right.
and it represented all of us. It was all of us, all like 5 musicians coming together and creating a sound. and this is just maybe like my side of it,
Right.
you know. And like think about how different your tastes are from when you're in high school to when you're yeah, exactly. So at this point in my life, this is, I guess, this is what I enjoy, this style, and it's a little more, there's still a ton of energy in it. It's on the album, I think it comes across a little more chill, but live people have seemed to be like surprised that it's so energetic.
I do like on this album the fact that for those that didn't know that you can sing, you can sing, and it focuses on your voice with this new material. Is there anything that you had to do as far as vocals, whether it was a vocal coach or have you just always been singing? It's just we never got to hear it.
Man, I did some singing, like backup singing for Paramore, but it was like very like minute, like not much at all. And honestly, I was just kind of scared to sing. I was like I like playing guitar, whatever. So
You're always hiding behind that thing.
It's easy to do. But yes, I had to work really hard at it. It's not like I'm not one of those people that like naturally just can sing like Adele or whatever. I really have to work for it, but it's, I definitely have a good voice. It's just like any other instrument. It's like picking up a guitar for the first time. I'm like, okay, this is, it feels really awkward at first,
Right.
but so I just had to practice a lot, and I have a great vocal coach, and yeah, it's been a lot of hard work, but I feel like it's paid off.
Now going into the studio to record the debut album, you went in and one of the producers was Jaquari King, and there was many others that you worked with as well, right? Or was he the main focus?
He was the only one. I produced 3 of the 10 songs, and he produced the rest.
So walk me into the studio sessions. What was it like? I mean, it's just you and the producer this time around. Like, it kind of starts echoing in the room.
Yeah, it was a little strange doing pre-production, just me and the producer, and nobody else.
Right.
But I had some demos, and I sat down with Jakir, and we said, okay, well, let's map out like what we would like to change, what we'd like to keep. And we just like listened to him, and we would like stop it if we, wanted to change something or whatever, if he had any ideas or, and that's kind of how it went about. And then next thing, like I brought in my brother Zach to play drums, and that was since we already had demos, we kind of used those as a guideline, like a map,
Right.
and then just laid down drums to that, and cut. We had to cut and paste a few things, but. So that's how we did it. They started with drums and then had a bass player come in, and I did guitars, obviously, and then vocals from there and so on.
Now with the other musicians that came in to help out during the recording process, are they also your backing band, or is that a completely different outfit?
It's completely different. It's hard to find a drummer that can write parts like Zach, and plus just play the way he plays. Right. And it's also, we have that brother connection where he just knows what I want to hear. Right. Whereas instead of like having another drummer come in, which there are so many great drummers out there, like even Tyler that's playing with me now live, that would kill it, but I could just look at Zach or maybe start to explain something, and he'll be like, I know what you want. Just go back in the control room.
Sure you guys aren't twins?
Nah, man. You never know.
What was one of the hardest things to do in the studio? How did, as far as the producer, how did he break you down? Was there a point where you were just like, I don't think I can do this?
There wasn't. Well, I came pretty close. Jakir really challenged me vocally. When we finally got to tracking vocals, we tried a couple songs, and we just kept at it. And he was like, "Man, I'm not getting what I want." And I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do? And it's like, this is so new to me, I'm used to like laying down guitars and it not being a fast process, but a lot quicker than this and a lot easier. But he was like, dude, I think you should just go home for a week or two, sing the songs every day, right, and just really like write down what they mean to you. So that was like, I think the most pivotal moment in recording. Sitting down with each of my songs, like figuring out what they meant to me, and truly like singing them from my heart. Right. I think I was thinking about it way too much. I know I was thinking about it because he was like, "You're thinking about it. I can tell." It was so weird.
The nerves were just kicking in.
Yeah, man. I would do a take, and he'd be like, "You were thinking about it the whole time." And I was like, "How do you know?" And then he'd be like, "I can just hear it." It's pretty amazing. So that really challenged me and made me grow a lot in the studio. So I'm really thankful for that.
Let's talk about upcoming single. and it's the lead track to the album.
Yeah, Walkways. Super stoked about it. It's one of my favorite on the album. I wrote that one about, from the perspective of somebody that's in love and has that like significant other that they just adore, which for me, in my case, would be my wife. And it starts off like in the verses it describes like specific landmarks like the Silver Coast in Portugal and like all these places like the redwoods in California.
Right.
Like I've seen all of these incredible sites all over the world and they're amazing. But in the chorus, it comes to the chorus and it wraps it all up saying like but still like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen is my wife, and so it's kind of like it's a love song for sure. But
so cheesy, dude.
I know it's so cheesy, but when you're in love, man, it makes you say cheesy things.
I guess so. I have yet to experience that one, so I'll let you know when it happens.
You'll see, and then you'll be like, man, I love that song.
So what else can we expect with this record? The record, the tour is actually done today. Yep. So do you have any other plans as far as touring? Are you going to go anywhere else?
Yeah, we're working on that all right now. It's we're trying to get over to the UK just because I feel like there's some fans online that really would love to see me, and there's actually a lot of fans all over the world, which is super cool. Right. So I'd love to get to them, and we're just doing our best to make it happen, just planning it out. It just takes so long to from when you actually have an idea to when it actually comes into fruition. So. Yeah. The plan is to tour and tour and tour.
So while experiencing this tour as your debut tour as well, do you see a lot of Paramore fans or do you see a lot of new fans as well?
It's actually been, I think, an equal amount of both, which is awesome because I thought it would pretty much just be Paramore fans, which was just great. But there have been plenty of people every night that are like, I've never even heard of you, and this is great. Like I'm a fan for life. So that's felt so good. When you've worked so hard on something, and someone just brand new that's never doesn't know, because someone coming from my past may just like my writing style and know who I am, and right. Which is still great that they love my new stuff. I appreciate that so much. But there's something cool about winning someone over for the first time. Mm-hmm. It makes you feel like you've done a good job.
Right. Now, for those that haven't heard of your music yet or have been living under a rock and don't know who you are, what's so different about your album from any other artists out there right now?
Man, it's me. That is a funny question, but I think about that a lot. It's like there's so much music out there. There's so many bands. Like if you want a band to sound like a mixture of like Guns N' Roses and Mumford & Sons, I'm sure there's one out there. Right. It's cool, and the music industry is just it's all over the place. But I feel like I have a really unique sound, and you don't really hear it. I have yet to find a band that really sounds like me. When people ask me like, what does your band sound like? I'm like, I have a really hard time.
Just pick up the record and you figure it out.
So I've been compared to a few bands, but still people they're like, it's pretty original. So I'll take that as a compliment.